with my teammate Sami Mohammed, and we are going to present our project called Home Hive. It is a web-based project which is built using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP. And we also kept a catchy title that is Transform Your Property Dreams into Reality. Discover, Connect, and Nest at Home Hive. So this is the project summary. Our project title is Home Hive, and the description is Transforming Our Dreams into Reality. Coming to our team, Mohammed Sami Ahmad is the chief programmer and designer, and I myself as developer and tester. So, coming to the table of contents, we start with the problem statement and then we look into solution, then key features, next UML diagram, coding, and testing. So, coming to the problem statement, the current state of real estate transactions is hindered by various complexities, including numerous intermediaries, complicated paperwork, and a lack of transparency. So, this leads to prolonged and frustrating experiences for both buyers and sellers. Inefficiencies in the market cause delays, higher costs, and a lack of trust among participants. There is a clear demand for a centralized, user friendly platform that promotes transparency and streamlines property transactions. So, price is what you pay, value is what you get. This is the tagline for our project. It is given by Warren Buffett. And coming to the solution of the problem, the Home Hive platform proposes to transform the real estate market by tackling major hurdles. So, this includes a centralized property database for convenient access, simplified transaction procedures with intuitive interfaces, and ensures transparency through precise listings and historical information. Additionally, it offers a marketplace linking users to service providers, and it also employs strong security protocols through educational materials and attentive customer support. This platform aims to establish a seamless and dependable real estate journey for all involved properties. And coming to the key features of our project, so there are many features like buyer edition, seller edition, admin edition, and a dashboard for buyer, seller, and admin. So in the buyer edition, there are two phases. So one is buyer registration and the other one is buyer login. In the seller edition also, seller registration and seller login. Coming to the admin edition, here also we are having admin registration and admin login. And coming to the buyer dashboard, in this dashboard, buyers can list the property willing to buy by placing an order with details like what is the location, what is the price, etc. And coming to the seller dashboard, seller can list the property he is willing to sell by placing an order with details like location, price, etc. And coming to the admin dashboard, admin can watch all the properties of buyers and sellers, and he has an extra feature called delete. So he can delete any properties if needed. And coming to the key features, the users can register as either buyers or sellers. Upon registration, users log in using their credentials based on their role, like it may be a buyer, it may be a seller, or it may be admin. Users are directed to their respective dashboards. So, sellers can view all their properties in the dashboard, where buyers and sellers have the option to list properties by adding them via card systems. So users, that means both buyers and sellers can add, modify, or delete properties as needed. And coming to the UML diagram, my friend Sami will go forward.
So hello everyone. So coming to the UML diagram. So let's understand what is UML diagram. So UML diagram is nothing but it is the architecture how we have implemented our interfaces in the project. So first thing we can see that there is some actor. Actor is nothing but a user. Whenever the users come, no,
You're right.
no.
Okay.
So once the user enters to the dashboard, he will see the three things. That is, he can log in as a seller, or as a buyer, or a admin. So the only permissions are given to the admins, and once a user comes, so it will has to go for a once it is a new user, then he has to register for his users. Then, uh, so once a user is a new user, then he has to register. Then he has to use their credential and create their account in that. Then, if it is an existing user, they can directly just log in through their credential and they can move to the dashboard. A dashboard is nothing but it for the two different categories, it will be different dashboard. For seller, there will be different dashboard where they can, upload their selling properties over there. And whereas for the buyer, they can only see the listing of the properties, whatever the seller has uploaded in that. So we can see that we have a view or add a property of a card. So this view is for a buyer where buyer can view all the properties, and add property is for the seller who can sell the properties, and they can have the property details mentioned in that. Then as usual, after doing all this activity, they can just log out of the page. Next, move to the next slide. That is a coding part. Let's understand how we have implemented the project. So we can see that on the left hand side, there is a screenshot of our web page. So we can see our project called Home Hive. So on the right hand side, we have HTML code. So we have a different section for different uh, what is it sections. So the first section comes with the home, which contains different div tags and classes. It contains in the first h1 tag, which has a heading Home Hive, and we also have uh, three buttons below that. Since these buttons are created by using the anchor tag, and the style properties are used in a different file that is called style underscore css. Then the second section, as we can see, section equal to id underscore feature. This is the section on our web page, which is for like knowing about why Home Hive, why this website. So all the details is mentioned in the section 2. Also, we have section 3 where we have kept all galleries of the properties. Yeah, move to the next slide. On the next slide, we can see once a new user come, he has to click on the register button. So once he have click that button, he'll redirect to this page where he can log in as a buyer or a seller, or it's only if it is admin, then he have to go for admin. So on the right hand side, we can see the HTML code for that. So the section, it also contains in a section IDs and classes, and h1 tag is used for the home hive, that is the main heading. Then we have used three different buttons, and we have used in the anchor tag. Then we have on the below, we have a footer which contains the details of our website, like contact details, address, and all. All the details are mentioned in the footer. Let's move to the next slide. So once a new user come to the website, or a new buyer come to the website, he need to register for that. So for registration, he need to mention three things. That is his name, and select a username for that, and mention his email ID, and have a good password. Sorry. Then after filling all this detail, he can just sign up for that. After one sign up, he can just log in and see what are all listed properties are there. So let's understand the code for this. So on the middle screenshot contain the HTML code for that. So we can see in the body tag we have used different div tag, like looping div tag we have used. The first div tag class, which contain for the class as a title, used for registration as buyer. Then we have used form for this, which contains all of these four fields. We are use input type as text for what is a name, username, and we have used class type text as well as for email address, and we have used input type as password for the password type. So all of these four text are in the form. Then we use a submit button, which submits the form in the backend. So on the right, on the last screenshot, we can see the CSS of that. So whatever the styling, whatever the font we have used, whatever the alignment for width and height, it's mentioned over here. So width, we have used 15 pixels, and the height we have used 15 pixel, and the background color is like blue color. We have used it. Then similarly for form, content label. For label, we have used the color this, and padding is this much. And also similarly for input type equals to submit, we have used the color as white, border is none, and padding left is 0. Similarly, all these things are mentioned over here. So let's move to the next slide. So next slide is nothing but once the buyer has registered for, then he can just log in by clicking on login. So once he clicks that button, he'll redirect to this page. So he can just log in through his username and password. Once the password and usernames are correct, then he can just successfully log in into it. So let's understand the code for this. On the right hand side, we can see that the above snippet is for like HTML code. It's similar to the it's similar to the previous slide. We have used different div tags. Then we have used a form again. In that form, we have used type as text, and for password, we have used type as password. And these two texts are given to the PHP file where it will authenticate whether the credentials are valid or not. So in the below screenshot, you can see there is a PHP file. So once this users enter his credential, when he click on this button, so it redirect to this page. It redirect to this page where it's fastly starts the session and connect to the database. Sorry, database with these credentials. And if the database is not correct or something is happening, then it will disconnect it and show the message as it is not connected. Then if it is connected, then it will verify the user's credentials like user ID and password. Then from the table, it will fetch the details of the user and it will show the result for that. So let's move to the next slide that is about the dashboard. So once the buyer successfully log into the dashboard, it will redirect to the this page where he can see we have a message called welcome buyer name. So below that we have two buttons for that, home and logout. And also there is a list of different properties listed over here. So in this example, we can see there is a seller who has listed his property with their ID 28 and the owner name is Lahari and the address is like this one 2445 Florida. The age of the property is 4, number of bed is 3, number of bathrooms is 1, and whether the garden is available or not. So in this case, there is no garden here. So on the right hand side, we have what is a screenshot of it. So again, this thing is connected to the database, and from that, after connecting to the database from a table, it's extracting the information, and it is iterating by loop and displaying the information in by using echo. Since in PHP, echo is used for printing the things. So echo is used here. We can see row of ID, row of selling user ID, row of address, row of age, row of bed, row of ad. So these are some IDs of that by which it is displaying this whole information. So let's go to the next tab. So this to slide, the screenshot is for like admin. So whenever the admin log into by using his credential, he has what you say, he has the access of deleting the listing. So once he click on the delete listing, so he'll be have the option of typing the ID, what he wants to delete. So suppose if a ID has 1 to 3 in it, so once he type 1 to 3 and delete listing, then the list from that the buying list, it will get deleted. On the right hand side, if some seller want to sell his list his property, then he need to click onto that button, list a property. Then he'll be having this form where he can just fill the property details of it. Let's go to the next slide. So Scrum methodology. So in this project, we have went through different Scrum methodology. So Scrum methodology is nothing but it's agile project management framework which iteratively develop through a short iterations known as sprints. So it will typically takes 1 to 4 weeks. It's nothing but in between like half month or 1 month. So the first point in that is team select tasks from a prioritized list called the product backlog and holds daily stand-up meeting to discuss progress, plans, and obstacles. And we have sprint planning meetings, define the goals and select tasks for upcoming sprints, while sprint review meetings showcase complete works to stakeholders for feedback. Spectacular meeting focus on continuing improvement, facilitating by Scrum Masters who also help remove obstacles. Key roles include the product owner, responsibility for managing the product backlog, representing stakeholders, and collaborating with the development team, which delivered the product increment. Scrum promotes collaborations, transparency, and delivering value quickly. So all of this point we have gone through it and we have implemented in our project. So let's move on to the next slide that is Scrum methodology. We can see in a diagrammatical format. So first point is the first stage is nothing but the scope of the project, then product backlog, then designing of the project, then planning how to implement the project, splitting the task into different sprints. Then sprint backlog, we need to see whether the task is completed or not. Sprint automation, then we need to modify it. Daily scrum, keeping a new meeting. I mean, daily scrum is nothing but keeping a new stand-up meeting. Then sprint execution, sprint review meetings, then sprint spectrospective. Then lastly, usable software. So whatever the final software we are getting as a last end result is the usable software. So next slide will be the about the testing, which will be explained by Ilahari.
Okay. So coming to the testing, we have utilized different testing methods like unit testing for question display, session testing, user credential testing, image folder property testing, and correctness of displayed answer testing. In unit testing for question display, we are testing to ensure whether the questions are being displayed correctly or not. And coming to the session testing, we are utilizing whether the user sessions are initiated properly or not. And coming to the user credential testing, we are checking whether the login details are correctly matching with the database and all. Coming to the image folder property testing, we are assessing whether our image folder properties like permissions and accessibility things are configured correctly or not. And coming to the next part, so we have followed Kanban methodology in our project. So they are visualizing the work, limiting the work in progress, focus and flow, and continuous improvement. So we kept the work items into an easy to read visuals using sticky notes that would be helpful for us to do the work for the progress. And we bound to agile methodology by keeping track of our work in progress. We managed the quality and quantity of work by focusing on other activities as well. And we use the plan, do, check, act. So this is an iterative design and management method that is used in business for the control and continual improvement of process and products. So thank you. Now we are going to show you the project demo. So this is the main page first, home hive. So it is like a slideshow of the pictures of home first. And here the title is Home Hive, and there's a catchy title, Transform Your Property Dreams into Reality, Discover, Connect, and Nest at Home Hive. And here we are having three buttons. One is to register, another one is to buy property, and another one is to list property. So when we click on register, we can see there are three tabs like buttons, which are hovering here. So when we hover, it is changing color. And here we can see there was a buyer, seller, and admin. So when we click on buyer, so we'll be redirecting to the registration page. Here, this is the page where we can register as buyer. So let us try with an example. Let the name be DEF and def@gmail.com. Sorry, the DEF as the username and def@gmail.com. And coming to the password, we'll just DEF first and we are getting sign up. So when we click on sign up, it is redirecting to the login page of buyer. As we registered with buyer, it is redirecting as follows. So the username is DEF and the password is DEF. So when we log in, here we can see a screen showing that welcome DEF. This is the name which we give. And here there are tabs. These are like cards. So in these cards, we can see what are the properties that are available for a buyer to buy. So here you can see the listing ID, the owner name, the address of the property, age, number of beds, number of baths, whether the garden is available or not, whether the parking is available or not, and the price. So here there are like four properties, and when we hover, it is flipping. So here we are using flipping code, and when we click on home, again we'll be redirecting to the login page, home page. So when you click on register, and now let's try to register as a seller. Okay. So let the name be WVU, and this is also WVU. Let us keep like this. So we are signing up and it is redirecting to the login page as a seller. And now we are checking whether it is the credentials are matching or not. So when you click on login for a seller, the dashboard is displaying in this way. It is showing as welcome WVU. And here the seller can add the details. So when you hover on this card, you can see we can add new property. And when we click on that, we can add the address and place. Let it be Georgia and the age be 3 years, number of beds, these are number of bathrooms, and garden is available or not, parking is available or not, and what is the selling price. And here we can select the image of the house and we can create listing. So now we can log out and check whether it is displayed to the buyer or not. Okay. As a buyer, we are going to see whether it is displayed or not. And now let us see, yeah, we got here. So the as a listing format, it will be displayed in the last card. So here you can see the owner details, address, age, number of beds, number of baths, and all. And coming to the home, now we'll be exploring what is the admin role here. So when you click on register and when you click on admin, you'll be redirected to the admin login. Admin login details. Let us assume the username is WVU and the password is also the same. And now you can see in the admin tab here, he can view all the properties listed in the form of flip cards. And he has a special access like delete option. So when we click on, let us see here, the listing ID is 29 and the owner is Kohli. So if we want to delete this, we have to write the ID here. And when we click on delete listing, the card of Kohli is gone. So this is some special property for the admin. And yeah,
That's all.
yeah.
So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.